Hello, I am Fay Garnett. I too work along with the guys from the crop section. I know you have already learned how to do your seed selection, how to prepare the medium, the material that you're going to plant your seeds in, how you're going to sow your seeds, and get all of that ready. Challenging times are yet ahead. That is, how will you manage the pest problems that you will have in your garden? Because that's for sure, they will come and you need to prepare. For you to understand what some of your options are and for you to explore some of the very basic things that you have in your home to be able to combat these problems, we will go over several different solutions that we can make at home to be able to ensure that we have a successful garden with successful crops and healthy things for us to eat. Pests, as the word implies, are those insects that are usually a nuisance and they can destroy our entire crop. Some of the things that we need to combat those pests are in our homes. We don't have to get any harmful chemicals or any pesticides from an agrochemical store to control those pests. We can use very good home remedies that are effective and safe for us. For us to have some of these solutions, we must use what we call plants with pesticidal properties. The end of that word is important because cidal means what we're trying to do is destroy those harmful insects. Keep in mind though that there are two types of insects. We have beneficial insects like our ladybugs, our pollinators, which are like our butterflies that we have to be careful for. I will explain to you how we can avoid destroying our beneficial insects and only taking care of those that can destroy our crops. Let's start with the marigold. Marigold is also called Flor de Muerto in Spanish. Every good gardener must have marigolds. Marigolds are usually planted around the perimeters of your garden because it has a very strong smell. This is not only a repellent for insects, but it also has properties that are antifungal to control other pest and disease problems that we might have. Another very important plant is neem. Neem is originally from India, but it can be found all over Belize. Not only do we use it in agriculture, especially organic agriculture, but some people use it as a medicinal plant as well to control diabetes. I've never tried it before, so ask your doctor about that. So as soon as it comes in contact with the insect is not able to function. It's not able to consume, it's not able to feed the way it normally does, and then eventually they die off. Another thing that it does is affect the reproductive system of the insect so that they're not able to hatch many eggs or produce and start to become a greater problem. So the earlier we get in this neem in our garden to control these insects, the better chance we have to make a harvest. Onion. Onion, again, like when we're cooking and it makes you cry, it kind of has the same effect on the insects, right? So when it comes in contact with them, this onion also helps for them to be able to, the skin, when it comes in contact with the skin, it actually dries it out and eventually they die back. Garlic. We know every home must have garlic. It not only keeps away ghosts, but we can use it to cook, and now we can use it in our garden. The smell of the garden is what repels these insects away. So this is a must-have in our solutions. Hot peppers. Now again, just like humans, you can only have so much of this. Again, when it comes in contact with the surface of the insects, what it does is it burns it to the point that it dries out the insects and it kills them. So this is something that we like to use because it's a direct contact, and if we apply it at the right time, those insects will be controlled. Let's work on these home remedies and find out who we can take care of with each one of them. Let's start with our first solution. Remember, this is very easy. It's no rocket science, just pay attention. First, this can be a little bit messy and that's okay. Remember, everything that we're using is natural, so you don't have to be afraid to use your own blender or your utensils from your kitchen because this is a safe product that we're making. So let's fill this up. There is no perfect measurement. Here I'm trying to use at least 2 large handfuls of neem leaf. Added to this, we're going to put at least 4 or 5 pieces of garlic. The garlic will only work if we have it blended or chopped up very finely. You don't have to peel the garlic because we will end up straining all this. We add some water. That gives us a little bit more space for us to put more leaves. That's the beauty about using natural products. When you're using chemicals, you have to be very precise because if you use too much, you can burn the plant. Mind you, it can also happen with this, but I'll give you a recommendation on how to handle that in a few. So let's get this blended. Okay, now that's all done. What we have to do now is strain this, and we will leave it for an entire overnight. We use a strainer, or if you have a piece of cloth, you can also use a cloth. This is a fun activity that you can actually do with your family members. Your kids may very well enjoy doing something like this. Now, don't throw this away. This part you can actually go in your garden and put this around your plants. This will take care of any kind of pest problems that you might have in your soil. It's also used as mulch, so don't throw away your excess leaves or what you have left from when you finish doing your blending. So let's cover that now in a ball jar. I like to use a ball jar, but you can use whichever container you have, or simply put it in a mug and cover it with a piece of cloth. And then the following day is when you actually do the mixture. Now we will make our marigold spray. As soon as you break the leaf, you start smelling that very, very strong smell. What we need to do first is cut the plant into several pieces to make it easier in the blender. It doesn't matter if the plant is not flowering, you can use any part of the plant. Something interesting about marigolds, like I mentioned before, normally you would have them planted around your gardens to repel away any insects. But scientists believe that these marigolds, if planted when you have issues with nematodes, the nematodes are attracted to the roots, and it's a manual way of trapping those nematodes and taking them from the soil. Nematodes are some very, very tiny microscopic organisms. What they do is disrupt the roots of the plant, obstructing the way for water and food to enter into the plant. Once we have our marigold properly cut, we will place it in our blender. If you notice, I have one handful. These types of home remedies don't really have like very fixed measurements. You can go adjusting from time to time depending on how much materials you have and how bad the situation might be in your garden. But remember that these can be sprayed on a regular just to prevent the insects coming into your garden. So to this handful of marigolds, we're going to add 500 ml of water. Let's put this in our blender. Okay, once this is properly blended, what we will do is place it in a mason jar or in any type of jar that you might have. And you will cover and put in a dark, cool place. A place where the sunlight is not directly shining on it, because that will affect how well this solution works. So now we will take 200 ml and put it in our spray bottle. Remember, you don't need to have any fancy bottle. You can just reuse an old hairy spray bottle or any type of spray bottle that you might have. Sometimes using a fine cloth can ensure that you don't have tiny pieces that might cause a blockage on your spray. Something else that we can use is our liquid soap that we use to wash our dishes. This will function as a sticker, so we will add this to our marigold mix. I'm judging here, but from what I'm adding, this is around 2 tablespoons of liquid dishwash. Now we will fill the bottle with water. Now we have our repellent solution to keep away those bugs. Okay, we're down to a third option. Let's go back a little bit. In the first instance, we looked at our neem spray. What it basically did was try to disrupt how the insects, how they reproduce. It absorbs the way they can feed, and it basically changes all their behavior, eventually having them being eliminated from your garden. In the second one, we looked at a repellent, which can be used for like daily maintenance of just keeping them away. The idea is not to go out there and kill all of our insects because they have different roles to play. But sometimes, if it is that we really want to make a harvest, we have to be a little bit destructive with them. But let's move on to our third one. We now have a hot pepper spray. We will take these hot peppers and put them in our blender. To this, we will add 1 second. To this now, we will add 200 ml of water. We will also add half of an onion. You will remember when you're preparing onion, what does it do to us? It brings tears down. Well, it kind of has that same effect on the insects. We can cut them in smaller pieces because I have a small blender. But if you have a food processor or something bigger, then you can have bigger pieces than I have. Whoa, it's already working. Now we will add at least 4 cloves of garlic. I don't worry about taking away the skin because we will end up straining this. Gosh, this is what it causes, see? Guys, this is some serious business. I'm already crying. You can imagine what will happen with those poor insects. Guys, you have to be extremely careful with this solution. It's no joke, I'm crying. You have to be safe. So let's try to do this very quickly. I recommend that you use some goggles if you have, to prevent from ending up like me. Okay. With our 200 ml of this strain solution, we will put it into our spray bottle and quickly add 400 ml of water, or you can just finish filling up your spray bottle if you have one like my size, so that we can have a complete solution. See, the tears are rolling. We can shake this. Remember to wash your hands. Let's go to the garden. Before we continue, remember it's best to do this in the late evenings when the sun is not too hot. I'm doing this demonstration for you but ideally we would want to do this in the late evenings. Another thing, you will want to experiment with the mixtures because it's depending on how you do the mixtures, that's the result that you will get here. If we do it too strong, we can actually burn the plant and end up losing our crops. For something like leafy lettuce, it's very sensitive, so try not to do it very strong. Okay guys, we're here with some of our hot pepper plants and we just want to do some spraying with our neem to ensure that if there's any insects here, that they're taken care of. Remember, don't only spray on the top side of the leaves, but you have to ensure to get the undersides. As the day keeps getting warmer, the insects tend to move to the bottom of the leaves and hide there until late in the evening. That's the reason why I said earlier we want to do this type of spraying in the late evening. Remember to inspect your plants very closely, and that's how you will know when you need to spray again. I hope that this information can help you, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to contact us in Central Farm so that we can assist you and help you to ensure that you have a very good harvest.